Greetings and salutations. Hello, hello. I haven't been doing anything. It's stuck in Houston for, well, since Tuesday, I guess. Freight's a little slow. Crossing the border, anyway. Cross-border freight's a little slow, but they seem to be not too bad here in the States, so good on you. Hopefully that'll transfer up to Canada a little bit. So yeah, I put some bling on the back end of the trailer here. And then I just did the wheel seal here again. Not the wheel seal. This sucker was leaking again. It was blowing out. What had happened is I had the wheel up like I do now. And I had the tires changed. And the tire dude pulled the wheel off and it caught this lip of this aluminum piece here and bent it a bit. So I thought I bent it all back. Oh, maybe I'll go back to that video. Look for that video in the comments there. I don't know how to link them here. I'll figure it out one day. But yeah, I had to fix this before I took off. Bought a bunch of goop. But it kept leaking. And then I thought it was my little pinhole here, because I went to fix it one day and a whole bunch of air came out. But that can't be the reason. So it was all leaking up over here, so I just said pull it off, and we put some gasket maker and then some gasket and then some goop and a little bit of Hubba Bubba, and then we're just gonna wait till it cures a little bit, top it up because we're a little low, top it up, and then she'll be good. I'm thinking for the next 10 miles anyway. So here's what I did. I just put these, I like the Flying Moose. I just did a short showing that. I cut them up. And then, I'm not much of a bling guy. It's nice once in a while. But it doesn't stay blingy when you're from my country. So I just found some cheapo, those are actually top pieces for the tops of the mud flaps, and I put them on the bottom. So they're not totally perfect, but I had to cut these all kind of wonky so they all fit. But you know what? They look just fine going, what? 65 miles an hour down the road, they look just fine. So that's what we're doing. Just waiting. Stay tuned. Well, it's a great night out here. As you can see, busy. Finally, I'm all finished loading up here. Just show you what I got, kind of, sort of, maybe here. Got some valves and some crates and some boxes and some skids, oh, and some drums and some motors and all sorts of fun stuff. So I gotta throw the devil's blanket on it to protect it, not from the weather, but from all the schmutz and the I gotta strap it down first too, and then also the wind, so all the shrink wrap doesn't go sailing off behind me. So that's what she looks like without a tarp. Loading late at night here in Houston. Well, old Murphy's got me this time. Derated. Naturally, you wait all week for a load, you get a load, you work all night getting the load on, you wait all day, then you finally get your paperwork, and you get done at midnight, you sleep for 4 hours, get up, and get ready to roll. You get down the highway, and your truck derates itself. Made it half an hour outside of Houston, turned around, I'm on my way back. Oh, Murphy, I tell you, Murphy's Law. He never fails you. Always on a Saturday. Always at 5 in the morning. Yep. Well, it's been a day. We aren't even done. I just pulled over here in the Fort Worth area. Where am I? I don't know. Side of the road here somewhere. Got a little pull out here. Some guys park here for the weekend and stuff. Just had to redo my tarps. The wind is just kind of going crazy out there. You can see the grass we're in a safe spot here, so I was able to get out and throw a couple bungees on it, keep it going, and started flapping a little bit and did as best I could at midnight, you know. What a whirlwind trip so far. This morning, if you would have saw my tracks, you would have laughed at me. Because I pulled out of the terminal. You know, of course, when you start, as soon as you start your truck this morning, and, well, actually, I ran it last night because the temperature increased. Like, it was beautiful most of the week in Houston. 30 Celsius, you know, 90 degrees, 85 Fahrenheit, beautiful, but dry, right? It wasn't overly humid, which is the big problem there. It was beautiful. I just had the windows open all night, turned on a fan during the night, never ran the truck at all. After I was done loading last night, it was getting more humid, and I got pretty hot, you know. So after I was done cleaning up and everything, I just let the truck run over, you know, because I only went to bed for about 4 hours. Kept the AC on. Over that time, that check engine light came on, and I didn't think anything of it. I mean, well, that's what happened, and I turned the truck off, you know, popped the hood, checked, and the engine's still in there, so, you know, what more can you do, right? Not throwing any codes, you know. Anybody that knows these trucks, you know, if you get an engine light or something like that on the dash, you can scroll through and see what kind of codes you get. And of course it says no active faults. So, well, there you go for that one. I mean, like, what are you going to do? Okay, well, it's just one of these ghost lights, you know. Everybody knows about the ghost lights. They just kind of come and go. Okay, so start it up again, lights out. Hey, I fixed it. Yeah, I'm a mechanic. There we go, just like that. And driving down the road. So the whole way out of the terminal, out to the interstate, you know, you're only driving about 45. You don't have to get too fast. 55. Didn't notice nothing. Get on the interstate, light comes on. Check engine light. Driving down the road. I'm like, what are you going to do? I already checked, the engine's already in there, I know that. So you go with it, see what happens. Well, about 20 minutes down the road, it derates you. So what it does is it takes you from, I was doing about 67, dropped me right down to 55 miles per hour. And you got no throttle. Can't go in, it can't go above 55. Derated you. So that's telling you there's something wrong with the emission system, right? And it doesn't want you to go any further until you get it serviced, which is really so then I'm like, oh, well, that's nice, because I got a special tune on here from Alberta, you know, an Alberta tune, and I shouldn't be having these problems. But, you know, they're trucks. You're going to have problems. It's a machine, and I beat the heck out of this old girl. You know, I don't beat the heck out of her, but I run her legs off all the time. A lot of miles on it. All right. Well, we're going along, so then I pull over again, do the, you know, shut it off. Try and figure out, no codes again. Try and figure it out. Turn it on. Light goes out. Drive. Light comes on. Boom. Okay, try it again, shut it off. This time the light never goes out, and it never gets above 55. So, of course, the whole time you're like, well, I got 2,200 miles, well over, you know, about 3,400 kilometers to go. I could do that at 90 kilometers an hour or 55 miles an hour, right? I could do that. That's safe, right? No, it's not safe down here. You can't. Everybody's flying at 70. Everybody's flying at like 120 kilometers an hour. they're going to run into you. You're just a hazard. Slow-moving vehicles are more of a hazard than fast-moving vehicles. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm not going to drive all the way to Canada at 90 kilometers an hour, 55 miles an hour. There's no way. Okay? Well, I'm tired too, right? Tired. The brain's not working too right. Pretty foggy. It's dark out. Trying to figure out what's going on. How am I going to figure this out? And all the bad thoughts are going through your head, like, I got to replace this whole emission system. I'm going to have to, is it the engine? You know, of course it happens at 4:30 in the morning on a Saturday, right? So nobody's around. I'm going to be spending an arm and a leg for a mobile guy. All this stuff that I'm thinking about, and it's all the bad stuff, right? I was, at one point, I'm like, well, hey, if this thing has any more issues, I'm just going to sell it here. I'll buy an old one and I'll drive home with it. Or I'll buy a pickup truck and drive home. We'll sell everything in Houston all by Monday. We'll have her all sold. I was pretty tired this morning. And your head doesn't think right. So then I spun around and now I'm driving back. And you know, all of a sudden, boom, I got cruise again, and I got pedal. And now I'm up to 65 miles an hour. I'm like, well, maybe one of my gauges is wrong. You know, my def gauge hasn't read very well, very good lately, so I swung into a truck stop. Filled her up with def. It was pretty low. Hit the road. Okay, I'm going north again. I've got power. I said, if I get power and I get cruise and I can go faster than 55, I'm not shutting this thing off. We're just going to go all the way home. Because then my mechanics at home, which everybody, it's like using your own toilet at home. You know, you're comfortable with your own mechanics at home for any truck driver dudes. So for any people to get the feeling of comfort, just think of, if you're not a truck driver, just think how comfortable your own toilet is at home, your own bathroom, your own bed. And if you've been away from that for a while, it's kind of nice to go and use your own facilities, right? You just feel more comfortable. And I feel more comfortable with my mechanics at home. So, I'm turning north. Hey, maybe that was the issue. Maybe I got a little sensor wrong on the level gauge of the DEF tank, the diesel exhaust fluid tank. Nope, it's done again. Okay, we'll go another 5 miles down the road, spin around. I said, okay, that's it. I'm heading back. Head back to the terminal. By this time, I'm about 40 minutes away from the terminal, so started heading back. And yeah, I'm doing 55. So I've got beacon lights on here. So I turned the beacon lights on, turned my hazards on, and down the slow lane I went 55 miles an hour, 90 kilometers an hour. Luckily, it was 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. So nobody was out. Well, it was very busy. It's Houston. Everybody's out. But it wasn't as busy as it could have been. Got to the yard. Now now you're like, okay, call a mechanic. Let's just see if you can get him in here and clear this code. Because sometimes if you clear the code in the computer, it'll let you go again. Maybe that it's not reading anything on the digital dash here. It's not reading the readout, getting me a code myself. So I've got to get somebody in here to read the code for me, clear it. And maybe that'll be good. So I call a mechanic, mobile guy, got somebody coming. They'll be 2 hours away. I'm like, okay. So I had a minute to think about it, slow myself down, right? Slow my roll, and actually just start thinking, okay? And you know what came to mind? What would Boots Transport do? Boots Transport is a Western Canadian trucking company, flatbed company, and all they run is Freightliners. And they got some good guys in the shop there that figured out a bunch of stuff on this stuff because they deal with all the same stuff you do. And they want to get their guys home as well to use their own shop. They don't want to do it out on the road. It costs them money as much as it costs you and I money. And then I remember talking to Bob with Boots, the owner. Yeah, the boys, they figured out that, you know, you undo these speed sensors on the transmission, And we're able to get, we tie it up and we're able to get the boys, they just drive home without a speedometer. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, why don't I try that? So I Googled which one's the speed sensor down there, and yeah, one bolt, I loosened it off, or took the bolt out, and then you pry it out of this little slot that it's in, and it just reads the drive line going around. It tells you how fast you're going. Tied it up, and canceled the mechanic, said, hey, I'm giving her. Out the road we go. It's a 45-mile-an-hour road in front of the terminal. I hit her up to 60. I had to see if it'd get up to 60. It hit 60, I said, I'm out of here. So the only thing is, you just got no speedometer and no cruise control. But you know what we got? We got the go pedal, and that's all we need. We just got to go. It's going to keep me going for 3 days to get home, and then we'll get it all looked at once I get up there with my mechanics. So, let me show you that sensor. Pretty simple fix. And all it's doing is telling the computer the truck's not moving anywhere. Isn't that goofy? It's just telling the computer that the truck is stationary and not moving, so therefore it doesn't have to worry about shutting me down. Whew. Thank you, Boots Transport. So yeah, I'm just in an open area here. A couple guys park here it's just off on the side of the off-ramp. I don't know if it's houses going on here or something. Here's the load with the tarp on it. Sorry if it's windy. Very windy. That's all I'm going to give you because the wind's so bad. I apologize. Not much I can do about it. But we'll just crawl under here and I'll show you. It's a little loud. Okay. Nice white zip tie holding up the speed sensor. And that just reads right here as this spins around. That sensor sits right in here and reads your drive line spinning around, and that's your speedometer for tell you how fast you're going. So you take that out and the truck thinks it's sitting still, which is pretty darn skookum. Well, that's all I got to say. Tank Kelly over and out from under the truck. Bye for now.